AfterBuzz TV's own gorgeous lady of wrestling, TK Trinidad.
Bonjour, you're watching Women's Wrestling Weekly, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad, aka the Canadian Assassin, and looky. We have Evan T. Mack in the building, aka Cocacina, aka America's Chocolate Sweetheart, fighting crime at night, doing the show by day. Thank you for joining us. I already know why he came, because sometimes he gets selective when he comes. So I already know why he came. But it is what it is.
Listen, I usually make my appearance, man. You know what I mean? I space it out a little bit. I couldn't leave you hanging. You know what I mean? I'm like, listen, man. She really needs a brother, man. Like she act like she don't need me, but this show, like I hold this show together. The voice of the people. You know what I mean? The voice of the unwashed masses. Okay. You know what I mean?
Right. This is the first time I heard this, but okay. Thank you so much for joining us, Evan.
Yeah.
Amazing show, like we always do. We're gonna do some news. We're gonna do some Star of the Week. But as you can see, sitting right next to Evan T. Mack,
man,
the star of the show.
It's just been a journey, man.
This been like a.
Y'all see Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, it's been.
It was like that travel to get to.
Yeah. I'll introduce and I'll tell you how we got here because it took a minute.
Middle Earth.
You see her on the hit Netflix show GLOW.
Yeah.
Then she surprised us. Boop. AEW.
Out of nowhere.
Like
I get some of that AEW money.
Yeah, just blew people's minds.
And he like a black dude walking up. Then he a black dude like walking around, just waving or something. Let me know. I'll be that dude.
Please welcome Awesome Kong, aka Kia Stevens.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. So let me break it down for folks.
For real.
People don't know.
We need the Rock to come and be like, finally.
Yeah. We even did. I don't even know if you saw it. I don't know if you were on social media like that, but we even did like a poll.
That's true.
Yeah, we did a poll.
But I've always had the intention of coming. Like you just never lined up, folks.
And the worst thing about it, we found out you like real close.
Like down the street.
Really, like round corner close. Like damn near walking distance close.
So what happened was about 2 years ago when I was doing X-Pac show at the time. I think GLOW season 1 just came out, and I actually interviewed you on the GLOW red carpet. And I actually was working the camera. What's her name? I forgot her name.
It was way back then.
It was a minute. But anyways, so I was like, okay, women's wrestling is starting, so we'll do a tandem because X-Pac show women's wrestling is together. Sent the email. She's busy. All right. The problem was, you put the booking information on your thing. You don't want to do that with somebody like me.
Yeah, she's terrible. She's like a predator, man.
I just keep on sending email until you tell me
don't give TKO email.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm telling you, Predator, Michael Myers, Jason, just won't be stopped.
Unless you tell me stop, then it's not. So I just kept on sending emails for 2 years.
It was 2 years.
2 years.
Almost 3, it seems like.
Yeah, I think because you guys are in third season. Yeah, so
busy
almost 3
lady,
years.
man, busy lady.
3 years. Finally got, well, actually, no, they were answering my emails. Brian was answering my emails, so thank you, Brian, for answering my emails, because you could have just not sent my emails, because there are some people that are not answering my emails, so you should answer the emails, because I'm not going to stop. So, it took about 3 years, finally made it work. I even had to pull a friend card. I know Sidel, who's on GLOW as well, and I was like, look, I don't really do this. I mean, I don't want to, but I need to. And then we even had a poll on social media.
Absolutely.
We tagged you, and we were like, who wants to see Awesome Kong on the show? Yes, hell yes, definitely yes.
It was all yeses.
It was all yeses.
There was no options.
It's all yeses. And like we was just trying to get your attention, and you was busy at these red carpets and doing this.
I
know, that's what I'm saying. So I knew it was eventually gonna happen. I just didn't know when. So then I finally, it was almost like that last email, like when you're in the desert and you like out of water, you just about to die.
The last gas.
This last gas, and I sent the email. I was like, I think.
And then it started raining.
You know what's funny? Today's been like a crazy busy week, and today was like my only day to like chill, and I was like, nah. We're just gonna go balls out this week and do
everything.
We're just gonna work.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate that. The journey has been long, but we made it work, and that's what the lesson is. This you have to be consistent. You want something, you just continue going until they tell you literally to stop. Probably stop after 3 times. If they tell you stop 3 times, not the first one, they might not really mean it. But that's just for interviews. Don't be doing that with other things. That will get you in trouble. All right, so let's get into it. I don't know. There's so much because we have GLOW that's going to be coming out. The 3rd season's coming out soon, and then we have the AEW let's do AEW.
Let's okay. Talk to me about like Double or Nothing. Just that the moment, the atmosphere. That was like a first pay-per-view of like their first promotion, their first show. What was that atmosphere like? I was there. What was it like for you being there? And
well, like only like 3 people on the earth knew that I was gonna be there.
I remember it was crazy
like,
when you came out.
We snuck me into the like airport. Like I was seriously like incognito, just like rolling up in like glasses and like whatever. And the people at the check-in desk thought like, I was acting super.
No, because you know how it is. It's all it takes that one camera.
Oh yeah,
right.
Everybody has a phone.
I'm like, but we got in and we did the do, and I was nervous because I hadn't like put on like the Kong gear in for eons.
That's amazing.
And I hadn't like summoned her because she's a real person, y'all. Kong's real. She's like a real psyche, and summoned her in a while, and I had to be like come home, like I was in the bathroom, like arr. It was a whole process.
So how did it come about? Like, did Brandy call you, or you're like, I think I want to, like, how did this, before?
Well, my agent, Brian Wittenstein, who is, both in the Hollywood world and in the wrestling world, called and said, they have this idea. And I'm like, well, yes, because I happened to be in Chicago when they did All In, and which is a funny story in itself because I didn't know anything about it because I hadn't been immersed in the wrestling world. So I was doing Starcast or Starcade, and they said, everyone's going to the show, and I'm thinking this is some random
like a
indie show.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, all right, I'm gonna take some of my pictures over to this show everybody talking about. I'm gonna set me up my own table and like
right.
So some pictures I get there, they're at the Sears Center. And the production value was out of this world. I'm like, wait, no, I need to be.
This ain't.
Yeah. Wait, what's this? What's going on in wrestling?
For real.
No, I need to be a part of this next time. Somebody need to ask me something. So they did, and I'm glad they did because it's like backstage. The harmony is there. People are working. People are getting paid. People are getting medical. Hallelujah.
Oh, I didn't even know that part.
And that's what they said that. Brandy and Cody were like, they getting medical.
They getting medical. I mean, come on. People are happy and people want to come in and work hard. It's like, you ever see Wizard of Oz? In the beginning it's in black and white, and then they get to Oz and it's in color, and everybody dancing and they got lollipops and stuff.
It was like that.
That's what it's like.
That's a magical part of the movie right there.
It's magic.
So are you fishy? Because the last thing I saw, Brandy did an interview, or I saw it pop up on YouTube maybe within the week, and they were asking her about you. So are you fully signed to AEW, or is it more of almost like a Brock Lesnar type thing where it's like
you show up, you break on somebody?
Yeah.
There are some things that will be announced very soon. There's some things we're working on, and I don't want to spill the beans and be like, well, we talked about that, but that's not what we settled on. So I wish I could say it today.
Oh no, I don't want any smoke from AEW or Brandy. I just want to smoke. Yeah, I don't want any of that. I don't want to like, you ain't getting nobody from the show. I don't want any of that. But I did love seeing you. Evan went down there. I didn't get a chance to go, but I did love.
It was unbelievable.
It was unbelievable.
It was so fun.
The atmosphere was crazy, especially when you came out. The reaction was, man. I'm telling you, that the crowd was hot, man.
Yeah,
it was hot because there was a show. They wanted that different product, and it was. It's like every shocking moment I felt like you could feel it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, they showed out. They showed out that weekend. But they've been showing out ever since. I mean, just that pop turned my legs to jelly, and all I could think of on the way to the ring was, please don't fall on your ass. Please, please don't fall and trip or something because you can't feel your toes or legs right now.
So did you do any? I mean, you obviously did training for Glow. But did you do anything as far as training-wise when you found out, okay, I'm going to do Double or Nothing? Did you do anything slightly different?
I hyped up my cardio because I felt like I couldn't go to anybody's ring because they would just figure it out. Because one person kind of did figure it out. Just by me asking a question. They're like, why? What you doing? And I was like, you know what? Never mind. I'm stopping.
You was like in the gym by yourself.
Yeah, I was in the gym by myself. Like I'm on the bicycle and like doing stuff, and people looking at me like, "What's wrong with this? That's not what you do on the bike. You just." I prepared as best as I could since it was like secret.
Okay. Well, let's get into Glow now. We have Jeff in the booth. He was very excited. Jeff doesn't get excited for much.
He was gushing.
Yeah,
right?
he was.
Gushing.
Yeah. He was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait till I was like, oh, you don't say that for everybody else.
Not
to say you should say it for everybody else, but not to say you shouldn't. But there's just a little extra pep in Jeff's step today.
He has a little more salt and pepper on it.
So, in particular, he talked about I don't know if the episode was called Welfare Queen, but is that Welfare Queen episode where
Mother of All Matches.
So where your son was there. Tell us when you read the script, how you felt about it, and then how you kind of channeled your energy into playing that role.
I almost didn't read the script because like the rumor had been going around that they were doing that fourth episode was going to be like a one-off episode, a special episode, and that hardly any of us were going to be in it. And I just assumed I was like, okay, well, if it's not hardly any of us, this is going to be like not me for sure.
Right.
So when I saw my name on there, I said, well, I'll take a peek because I had planned a whole trip with my husband. I was like, I ain't going to be in this episode. We're going to have like a good 5 days off. Let's go up to Hearst Castle and like eat some cheese and wine and like chill out. And then I read it and I was like, oh, this is something I'm going to need to prepare for.
Yeah.
And every page like got me excited and got me teary-eyed, even from just the music even that they chose. It had me tearing up, misting up. And I was like, wow, right on for Kamei.
It's one of those things where, because you've been in the, for you guys who don't, let's preface this. There are people who are just introduced to you through Glow. They didn't know that
your career, the background,
right.
what you bring to the table.
And the rumor was, I can't remember if it was confirmed or not, that when you auditioned for Glow, they didn't even know that you were a wrestler or are a wrestler.
Yeah, I don't think they knew that at first.
Yeah.
Not at all.
So there are a lot of people who are introduced to you through Glow. But let's take it to when you started wrestling, being a black female in the industry. It's a little different from today. Like, we're getting a little bit better, but kind of tells your experience as a black female in the wrestling industry when you started to
Oh, gosh. Like, when I first got into it, of course, I did this reality series called Extreme Body Challenge, where, because I had went out for Tough Enough, and JR told me that since I was big, that I would never make it in wrestling. So I decided to go out for this other show and lose a little bit of weight and get kind of fat, which I did. Had me, not exactly 36, 24, 36, but it was snatched.
Yes.
You know what I mean? To the point where my first wrestling name was Vixen.
Oh, I see.
I was in my black cat suit. Like every female wrestler has to go through her like black cat suit phase. I went through mine, and then when like 2 months later, when they told me they were having a tryout over at Inoki Dojo for women's wrestling, I went out for it, and seriously took my first bump 6-8 weeks before that. Was nervous, but since I was so raw and new, they wanted me to kind of mold me the way they wanted me, so they didn't have to deconstruct anything. Right. The only thing is they wanted me to be called Kong, and I was like, what? Do you know what that means?
Yeah.
You know
it's
what
tough
I mean?
being black too. You already know that they've connected that like monkey thing.
Yeah, and I was like,
we get chills as soon as we hear it.
Yeah. You know,
we don't even know what place it's coming from.
Right,
we're like, hold on now.
You know. And I had to really like think on it and like weigh a lot of stuff, because of all the connotations to it. So I thought, this is an opportunity. I will take on this Kong name, but I'm going to make it be a name of respect, so that when people hear this name, they either tremble in fear or they stand up straighter, or sit up straighter. And I'm going to have to be successful so that I can create other opportunities for other women like me, and they won't have to make this decision.
Right.
I was actually in my apartment. I'll never forget this. I was living on Wilcox in Hollywood, and an NWA song came on. And I was like, if they could be niggas with attitude, I'm going to be Kong, and I'm going to make it as if I chose that name, and take it from that mentality.
Yeah.
If Josephine Baker can go out there and put up with what she had to put up with, and Sammy Davis Jr. had to put up with what they had to put up with, then I was gonna. It was my turn to clear the path for the next generation. That's what I'm trying to do.
Got the chills in there. This piece.
In the interview right there, we good. It's over.
Well, it's crazy because we just did some pre-tapes today, and we were just talking to Maserati, and she was saying she's a wrestler from Vegas, and just 2 years ago, they wanted her to play a chick from the hood with 5 kids.
And that was just that was 2 years ago.
Oh, goodness.
So it's just...
Who is they?
Well,
like the promoter,
her home promoter,
promoters were like,
and stuff like that.
That's where I always go with, like, when me and TK talk off air, we talk, we're kicking it somewhere, we're talking. That's where I'm always at. They see like black people as like 4 different things though. Like you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, be like a voodoo something around there.
You're super ghetto. You're super obnoxious. You chucking and jiving.
Right.
So that's so it
just broke out of jail.
Just broke out of jail. You were like the one group back in the day. God bless them, man. Like Crime Time. Their name was called Crime Time. Like they were crooks. Come on.
You know, I mean, like it's.
But that brings me to going back to GLOW. Because yes, it was taking place in the 80s, so you're dealing with the stereotypes and the racism in the 80s. But then, like, reading the script, like, how did it... I don't know, did you have issues in playing that role, or it's like, I'm gonna be a great actress and portray this role as best as I can, or
no, because the material is so great about taking on these issues, because these are things that actually happen. That you know, my mom was an actress, and the things she would have to play back in the day would break my heart sometimes, even though we were so proud of her. But it's like, you know, as an actor, you either take on this role that is offered to you or starve and never fulfill your dream. And it's like, is someone gonna pay you not to take that role?
Right.
You know, and there's this unfair responsibility that is weighted on a lot of people of color, you know, that ties into all that double consciousness.
Absolutely.
That is, it's we struggle with, because like, there's no scholarship to be like, hey, I'm gonna apply for this scholarship because they offered me this role and I don't think it's right for our people.
Right.
You know, can you subsidize me for not taking that role?
Right.
We don't have that. Hopefully I'll get rich enough one day where I will offer that
sounds like a good scholarship.
You know what I mean?
You got to get to that point where you have to get to a certain level, and to get to that certain level, you got to do those roles beforehand.
Exactly.
Like right now, like Denzel, you can't tell Denzel what to do like now. You know what I mean? But way back in the day, and I mean way back, for anybody who knew Denzel when his first probably his first role, if I remember, he's like blaxploitation film. He's just like a guy robbing somebody. Young, super young Denzel. I think he had like one line, but he was a thug. Now, this is Denzel trying to start out. This is like a theater actor. And he's like, I got to do what I got to do. And he built himself up so to take these roles. And you're right, as far as a person of color, a black person, they'd be like, I got to do this role, and I gotta do this stereotypical black guy, or like how the Asians used to have to do things. Like some of my favorite actors back in the day were like Filipino, but they had to play Chinese. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Tia Carrere was Filipino, and they made her play like a Chinese woman in Wayne's World.
We have a storyline like that this year, and it's oh God, it's so
tough.
messy.
It's tough.
You know, it's so hard to untangle and get it straight and right with all the whitewashing that goes on in Hollywood, and just not that many people of color in power. We have more people now, and things are starting to untangle themselves, but it's still a process.
But even like watching your old wrestling footage, seeing you in braids at that time is a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even want to tell you what company, but I had an issue with my hair as of last week.
Oh.
So it's just kind of one of those things where the fact that we saw you in braids at that time is an amazing thing, because we're in our 3rd season of this show, and we have talked to particularly black women, and hair has always been an issue.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So it's just kind of like it was one thing amazing to I don't know what the right, I don't even want to say it's not what it was, but just to see you do you versus what they may have wanted.
Well, you know, before I grew up as a child actor, and I would remember not even getting the opportunity to go out for a lot of stuff. Like, my brother would get cast in like everything, but for me, there were a lot of boxes that you would have to check back then, and most girls my age, for whatever role of my age, usually were of mixed race, or they would have extremely fine long hair, you know. So anytime I did get a job that night before was all about, in the kitchen and
all that hot comb,
which is why when I see, people with parts today and everything, a lot of people have natural hair. I'm just like Shonda Rhimes changed a lot of that. Like, most of the people of color on Grey's Anatomy have like natural hair, and I'm like right
she
on.
Changed the game, though, yeah.
She changed the game. God bless her for it.
People don't understand that this hair game is.
It's no joke, and I'm like, I'm wrestling. Y'all think I'm gonna all that sweating I do in the ring? Y'all think I'm gonna? No.
I talk to Naomi.
We got to do bread.
Yeah, I talk to Naomi at least once a month about her, like, because she's always changing it, but she's changing it in order to maintain her hair. So it's just kind of like, but people don't understand.
No, they don't understand.
That's a whole nother.
It's a whole nother show right there. A whole different show. My husband, who is Caucasian, didn't know, and the cheapest man on the earth. You know where this is going.
He saw that bill.
He saw that bill, so he couldn't. It didn't even compute. He was like he didn't understand it, and he now can do. He can put it. He puts in my weaves. He puts in my He learned how to crochet, do the crochet braids because he's the cheapest man on earth. So he learned how to do.
I'm gonna figure this out.
Why is this on video?
No, respect this man.
Why is this on video somewhere?
Paying for this? No, well, I'm gonna do. He takes them down. He knows how to put in a relaxer. He put in my niece's relaxer.
Why they putting the relaxer is like a. That's like a unicorn, man.
I should put a video.
Yes,
are you kidding me? That would go viral.
Okay. Done.
Are you kidding me?
If you put in the weave,
there he is.
If you put this man putting a relaxer in your hair, the internet would break.
The relaxer, yes, but the weave and the crochet.
Black Twitter would be all
He's
flustered.
done my whole niece's hair. He did her whole hair.
That is incredible. Man, this dude
sent her off to school. Yeah.
Oh man, Black Twitter would erupt.
There he is, cheapest man on earth.
I love this dude.
He's like, look, we ain't doing ours. We gotta cut the middleman.
How to crochet.
You know what? Just wash and blow dry it, and I'll beat it in there.
Yes. That's dedication to the craft. I was talking to somebody about that, and it's just like, if you want to be part of somebody's life and you see what they're doing and you want to assist in that, then assist in it or step aside. Like, 100%. You have to pick one, or you can't complain 100%. And then like not provide an option.
That's my thing. Like, you can't say you don't like this one thing but can't provide the other thing. But like, I don't want to do that. But what you want to do? I don't know. I just don't want to do that. I'm like, you gotta tell me. If this don't, you gotta tell me what else you got.
Yeah,
I'm hungry. What you want?
I don't know. I don't want to hear that. We're going here.
And then you suggest something like, I'm not really doing that. Oh my gosh.
We lost. We're going down. We're going down by the head.
The Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy, says Kong is a true icon. I just want to shout him out real quick.
I think he's new. He hasn't. I haven't seen him on the chat. I see you bringing new people to the chat.
I appreciate you.
Okay.
You're a true icon. I agree. Yeah.
So let's get into. I know you can't give away this season of GLOW as of just like AEW, but what can people expect from this new season that's going to come out?
Oh gosh. There is some backstage realness going on that's even, that's extremely relevant to the wrestling world today, and just what's going on in America. I think today, a lot of the issues, besides the obvious.
Yeah. Well, even that issue in the last season when they were talking about the immigration stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
They know what they're doing with that because they know it's still poignant right now.
Well,
it's very clever.
There's some tender moments too. I mean, there's one episode that we're all like, this is a comedy, right?
But that's the great thing about the writers and this show, and GLOW. Because for you guys who don't know, because some people do think it's just like some people just know it from Netflix, and they don't realize that it was a thing and it was a TV show and all this other stuff. But the great thing about the show and the writing of the show, and then even it's where it stemmed from, is that there's so many different women of different shapes and sizes and color. That even though there were some stereotypes that were kind of like, it was that time, but they're at least exploring it versus saying, no, we're not going to do any of that.
No. You got to touch on that stuff, man. Why else make a show about women and about wrestling and the stuff that happened? It happened, you know what I mean? And, it shaped and molded a lot of the history and a lot of the lives of you guys, you know what I mean? So we got to talk about it. A lot of people try to duck that kind of stuff, man, but you guys do not. Aaron Gadsden says you're one of the true pioneers of women's wrestling. So
can we get some questions? Like, we know she's a legend.
I know. Do you feel that you're a pioneer? That's a big word, man. I believe so, but that's when people say that. What is that?
I feel like I'm a pioneer to certain like generations that like got into wrestling at a point where I was starting off. There were many female pioneers before myself, that have cleared the road for us. Right. We're busy clearing that road, or raising that ceiling to break it through all those, cliches and whatnot. Yeah. No, I feel like I do feel like I have done my part to keep it going.
Do you feel like there's certain promotions and individuals that don't acknowledge what you've done?
Wait, I don't understand the question.
Meaning that you've been in this business for a long period of time, and you have cracked the ceiling for various promotions. Some of these promotions, it's almost like they don't even like acknowledge that you were even there.
Really?
So do you feel like that's the case, or do you feel like... Because so let me just put it out there.
Yeah.
So when you and Sydel, there's an interview, I think it was with Medusa for Mae Young.
Okay.
Right? So WWE is there, but then when they talk about female wrestlers and past female wrestlers, you're not often included in that discussion.
Oh, them. Oh gosh! Because when GLOW, when we went to the thing in Vegas, we did the.
And the thing is, it's like even
such an awkward trip.
Yeah,
it was so awkward.
Yeah,
because I really wanted the GLOW girls to experience,
Yeah. That interview was kind of weird. You need to watch it.
And it's the top WWE at that time. Had the top. Their value, their product value was the top out there at that time. So I wanted the girls to experience that. And I don't really have, because I feel extremely blessed and I don't feel unfulfilled in wrestling. I don't really have any beef or bad
Not beef, but just at least
no pun intended. Bad karma with WWE at all. So I'm like, let's go here. I do think that sometimes they themselves, being that they are a $1 billion company, can kind of get a little petty about little stuff like that.
Right.
Sometimes I think they get a little petty because it seems like sometimes this is my interpretation. It's like if you don't make a lot of noise, like you're not doing, maybe, I wasn't dealing with TNA or I wasn't dealing with ROH, and then or if I am dealing with TNA, suddenly I'm not getting the newsletters from WWE, because once you're an alumni, you get the alumni newsletter.
Right.
So you go there, you expect them not to send it to you, but then when you're not doing something, then they send it to you, and then you go somewhere else and like, no, you can't have the newsletter. I don't want your damn newsletter filling up my inbox. No way.
Yeah.
What I do want you to take out is your WWE network invite me back all the damn time. You can take that out. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to read nobody right now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Before AEW, they had the Women's Evolution, and before that, they had, I think it was for WrestleMania, where Trish and Lita came out, and it was the Battle Royale. It's like there was opportunities. And there's certain individuals that are not invited back because of either lawsuits or whatever. But there's people like you, as far as I know, from what I can see, that's like, well, why isn't she included in the conversation?
I think if I had to guess, seriously, I could kind of understand, because a little bit. But it's like, forgive. Come on.
It's like, we put all this, much worse.
Yeah, it's like, Right?
Much.
They didn't forgave much
Lord
worse
have mercy.
than, putting some money into they put a lot of money into me for my debut.
Right.
And at that time, I was happy. I was the happiest I'd ever been in my life. And I think that is why my body allowed me to even get pregnant at that time. Because I was the happiest, no stress. I was just like the happiest, you know what I mean? And I think they still a little mad about that. So when we didn't put all this money into you.
Something just that simple. Yeah. You just got
But
then you was irresponsible.
Did they ask you to
I mean?
do something? Like, did they ask you to, when you told them the news, did they ask you to?
No.
Okay.
I mean, there was support.
Mm-hmm. And it's different times now. If you think of now.
Because what can you say when somebody says
well, it was weird because even I was like, gosh, this is a blessing, and I'm just so happy. But gosh, this timing is, man, this timing it's. This timing is so off, but I'm like, it's a blessing. So I wasn't gonna go and do something about it just because I had this, and I understood that I stood to lose that. Mm-hmm. I know how WWE was. I understood that I stood to lose it, but I was a mother. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Period. And I was gonna love my baby no matter what. I wasn't putting Vince McMahon above my child. So. I can understand, but it's like, golly, I would have thought that I would have been invited back by now.
They're still being
and it's like, I think because I had it so rough afterwards, because losing a child it's unnatural. It's just reversing the way things are supposed to go. Mm-hmm. It was like I wasn't ready to come back, and they weren't hearing me.
Right.
They would ask me, "What do you need? We'll give you whatever you want to come back and get ready." And I would say, I would tell time, and I would tell Johnny, if you do this, I think I could get ready very quickly. Mm-hmm. How about we send you to FCW? I'm like, I'm not really ready to face anybody or really talk to anybody right now. But I found a nice place in Colorado, the same place that the Biggest Loser people go to.
Oh, the ranch.
The ranch to get ready and to get my mind clear, because at WWE it's also a mind game too. Mm-hmm. Your mind has to be clear to deal with it. Yeah. So physically I was kind of on point, but mentally I was ready. I was like, I can't be there mentally off, because I got a history of just hauling off and slapping the shit out of people. So I'm like, I want to make sure.
You didn't know that one?
Oh damn!
I want to make sure.
Okay,
I want to make sure that I'm mentally, able to withstand what I know I was going to face. Too. You know what I mean? Because no one coddles you there.
Right.
It doesn't matter what you go through; they're not going to coddle you. If anything, they're going to
keep poking at you.
To see where you're going to break. And you try to break me, I'm breaking everything back. So I just wanted to be able to face that and be able to go, all right, I can take that right now.
So I think what you're referring to as far as break, it was it Bubba? So the situation. I'll do the short version, and you can chime in. I'll do the short version because Evan looks very shocked. Is when Haiti had everything that was going on, the natural disaster. Yeah. Kia was very open as far as getting money and what happened to Haiti was crazy.
It was devastating.
And they're still, for you guys who don't know a little history, Haiti is still owing France money. So that's why one of the reasons why they can't get on top, because France is holding.
They have poverty on a different
little
level.
history
People don't know what kind of poverty it is.
Bubba said some disparaging things about Haiti.
Oh.
And Kia went to talk to him, but the opportunity didn't necessarily present. The opportunity presented himself, but it didn't happen. And then the next day or on set, when she saw him, she just went after him.
It was actually minutes later. But the Haiti thing wasn't like all of it.
Because I'm sure that was icing. That's why
it wasn't all of it. He came on to TNA acting a monkey fool, like with disrespecting everyone, as if he had been bumping for years. You know what I mean? Now, just because you in Hulk Hogan's shadow and you his homeboy right now, and I told Terry this, that he wasn't your friend, and then
we found out later.
We found out later, though.
He was the one who taped. Okay.
Yeah, with the wife and whatnot.
Sure do. I know that one.
I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna tell you, hey, you need to watch that dude. And I told you needed to watch that dude. And he came on to TNA's backstage just disrespecting everybody. It's like, wow, don't do that. Come on now.
He's smelling himself.
We family here. TNA, we may not have gotten paid that much, but we loved each other there.
I mean, but TNA Impact now, their storylines are they.
You start reading your own press clippings, though. That's what Bubba was doing. Bubba was at a part. He was in the era where he was reading his own press clippings. He was in that era that everyone talks about. That's the best era of wrestling, and he got this air about him. You know what I mean? He's not the only wrestler that does that. That's why I already know you're telling the truth about it. He came there thinking like, yo, you know what I've done, and you know what I've been through. You know who I am.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, man.
So truth be told, in the chat says, there any female wrestlers that you would want to wrestle that you haven't wrestled before?
Dope.
I'd like to wrestle Beth just because I've been asked about it so much. I would love to give that to people who have wanted to see that.
Right.
Beth Phoenix, yeah.
Can I get like in a pay-per-view? Can I get Kong versus Kong? Can I get that, please? Can I get my dream match?
I mean,
it's happened before in Japan.
I need it on domestic grounds, man. Listen, I need it on domestic soil.
There's some rumors.
I need that so
hopefully.
I just want to see the showdown in Chi-Town. Just fade the one-on-one Kong versus Kong, man.
I think it may happen. I think it may happen.
There are rumors. Truth be told, is also hitting another question. Were there any girls in WWE that were supportive after you left?
As far as that contacted me and whatnot. Well, I was there for such a short time. I mean, the people that I knew before, like Natty, were supportive and checked in on me afterwards. And Brie and Nikki were also supportive as well, all through it, actually. So I thank them for that. But outside of the girls, Dylan Hornswoggle was extremely supportive from day one. I think I talked to him every single day. In fact, I named him my son's godfather because he just was there for every minute. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need that, just somebody to check in.
Yeah.
Positive Vibe 95 asked about the AEW experience. I don't know if you're just checking in, but we talked about that at the top of the show. So once you're done watching the show, you just go back to the top and you get all that good stuff. So much. So many questions.
Get it in.
So many questions. So we have the Glow's coming. What's the exact date that Glow's coming out?
August 9th.
August 9th is the day season 3 of Glow is coming out.
Yes.
I want you to give us the tea without getting yourself in trouble. Is there anything that we can look forward to for your character? Glow?
Character arcs.
My character arc directly reflects something that it directly reflects something I can extremely relate to.
Oh, that's
when I read it, I was like, okay, all right, y'all.
That's really good.
You tell you a professional too.
You got my diary
and
then made a script out of it. Somebody made a script out of my diary.
That was a politician.
Yeah, that's but it was perfect though.
Well done.
Yeah, that's when you parallel park and you get it the first time. That's what you did. that was perfect. Now, possibly it hasn't been confirmed or denied. So you did the AEW. Are you going to be doing any more wrestling? We'll put AEW aside because we don't know. I'm assuming you're coming back. I'm going to put it in the universe you're coming back. We can't confirm or deny. But is there anything else as far as the promotions or anything else that you want to do as far as wrestling, or you want to kind of just keep it to surprises?
Oh gosh, if I say it kind of spills the beans of what. I'll tell you this. After AEW happened, I'm like, I think it might be possible to put together the greatest female roster ever seen. To just make people just their eyes roll in the back of their head every time they watch. I just want people to be happy. There's so many unhappy people. I know you can't please everyone.
True.
There's some people that they actually love just to complain.
That's so true.
But I do want to bring that one random person that's been saying this angle should happen forever.
Right.
Their whole friends are like, okay, give it a rest already. I want to make that happen, and for them to just for them to be happy, and then their friends are happy because this one random person is happy. Just just outside the box.
I like that.
Jeff in the chat, who's our engineer.
Jeff!
He's like, there's lots of Mark Maron fans listening to our network. What was it like to work with him?
Lots of who fans work with your network?
Mark Maron.
Oh, Mark Maron.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Mark is so funny. It's awesome to work with Mark because we'll sit in between scenes, we'll sit down and we'll talk like political stuff because, you know, we're both like all into MSNBC and whatnot, and we'll just get, you know, did you see this that happened? And we'll talk like little hens. It's fun because when he goes off script in a scene, sometimes it's very hard to keep a straight face because something will just come out. It's just like, that was very funny.
Any memorable moments through all the seasons, season 1 and 2, that's like when you think back to your experience that comes to mind first?
Yes. Okay. So before the first season, we spent a month training, you know, and Chavo and I would tell the girls all kinds of things that theoretically could go wrong in the ring, and this is why we train you this way. And one of the first scene we had in or around the ring was with Johnny, and he was running the ropes. He played Salty the Sack, and he ran the ropes. And we had told the girls, you have to hit the ropes this way because if they ever broke, then you have something to hold on to and whatnot, and you'd be able to protect yourself. And the ropes broke, and it was almost like, yes, see, did you see how he held onto the ropes and he protected himself?
That's great.
But when the whole ring broke, actually just broke in half, and it was amazing and terrifying at the same time. But
Wow.
What is the difference between Awesome Kong, Karma, Amazing Kong?
Awesome Kong, Karma, Amazing Kong. Amazing Kong, not much. I think Karma was a place that Kong wanted to get to stop having the same conversations over and over again and having to explain her name. Yeah, that's about it. They're all pretty much the same mindset.
Okay. I want, because you said when you were getting ready for AEW, you had to kind of get into your mind, so I didn't know there's a difference between.
No, Karma, well, she was still in her honeymoon phase before she left. It was a different branding of Kong. Mm-hmm. Same mindset, same psyche.
So, you know what I'm trying to do.
Oh, wait, I want to go back. Karma made a lot more money.
That's one of the reasons why she was happy.
That's a big difference.
It is a big difference. Is there anything that you want to do in your wrestling career now or in the past that you're like, man, like this, if I do this, like I'm good?
Oh, am I wrestling her now or in the past? Oh gosh, it feels like I'm telling you, I'm not. I want to work with the girls of now. I want to pass on my knowledge and help make someone even more formidable than I was, and just to, someone who may have it easier, who can get through easier maybe than I did, and get all just I don't know, hit the stratosphere, just take the next step, to go a little further than I did. That would make me so happy, and to help with that would leave me extremely fulfilled.
Yeah, like I think Bosa said it in the chat, like a match between you and Nia Jax, but even beyond that match,
oh yeah, Nia, for a while there, I was like, gosh, I would really like to work with her.
There's just one thing she's missing.
Yeah, I'm like, God, if I could work with her, I think she could be
freaking
formidable.
That's what we always talk about.
I mean, dang, but they never called me.
Because she's missing that little. I'm saying that little bit.
That's that little. That's that.
Because it's there, man.
I mean, the
size.
I root for her. I root for her though.
You got to. It's the size, the beauty, the Samoan aspect, the
so many things,
the strength, the power. Like she has.
She just needs a channel, whatever.
One more thing.
All right, so we're gonna do Star of the Week real quick, and then we're gonna finish up.
Women's wrestling star of the week.
I got a question.
What's
I still got a question.
Evan's gonna introduce a new wrestler to us.
Yeah, man, this one comes courtesy of Flowbito.com.
Shout out to Flowbito.
Yo, appreciate you, Flowbito. I was gonna give you props, man, because I took your Star of the Week. Chrissy Vane, when it comes down to it, Chrissy Vane is a legend in wrestling. Though starting her career as a model and a wrestling manager, Chrissy had eventually built a wrestling career spanning 2 decades. To many, she perhaps is known for her time with Amber O'Neil and Team Blondage Group. Team Blondage was in fact the first tag team formed at the premier promotion Shimmer Women's Athletes. The Greensboro, North Carolina native soon became an inspiration to a whole new generation of female performers. Vane has also wrestled for such companies as Deep South Wrestling, Lucha Libre USA, and Florida Championship Wrestling. Eventually, she retired between the years of 2010 and 2011, or so we thought. Newsworthy twist from Flowbito. It was reported that Chrissy Vane will be competing in a future match on September 14th. Chrissy returns to the ring to take on Kristen Statlander at Wrestling Pro in New Jersey. This will be actually her second or third match since her hiatus, leading speculation to a full-time comeback. Whether you know her as Chrissy Astera, Special K, or Chrissy Vane, she is our Star of the Week. Before we boogie, my dad, I have to ask you a question. So, especially Hollywood, what's going on? There's a lot of I don't know if you feel like it's overcompensation or it's just right on time, but you know they got the new 007. She's a black. She's not just a female. She's a black female.
Yes.
And then we got Little Mermaid. She black.
Yes.
So usually I call them Disney black. You know, when Disney they make them Disney black. They make them light skin. They make them fair skin. But James Bond lady, she's very dark skin. So my thing is, do you feel it's overcompensation? Do you feel it's about time? Do you feel Hollywood's just like, all right, my bad, our bad, let's just figure things out? Or do you feel this is a natural progression in how Hollywood's going?
A little bit of both.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of reasons for everything that you said. I think it's a little overcorrection, but I think now. No, I don't mean like overcorrection. I mean, I think they're really being conscious of, why not? Yep. She's a great actress. Yep. Why not cast her? Right, I remember I was in an acting class one day, and this arrogant guy was like, because unless the leads are white, it's not gonna make money. And I mean,
I'm sure he said that.
Yeah, he was like, even if like a Will Smith movie, they have to pair him with a white, co-star.
Wow, what year was this?
Oh gosh, this was 2014.
He's right, but it's just not. It's those days are coming to an end, though.
Yes, and I think that the more that studios take chances like that, and that they pay off, but still take chances even if they don't do it, it's helping create a world where people are less color, focused.
And the people of color have to support those movies, though.
Yes.
You have to come out.
You have to come out and pay. No bootleg.
For real.
You have to. Yeah. You have to do it. You have to do it.
We have to have you come back since you live down the street, or maybe we'll just come to your house.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have you
by the pool with somebody. Yeah. Do a special women's wrestling.
Facts. If he wants to
do my hair during it.
Yeah. He wants to do other people's hair. I'll gladly do mine. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at.
You do know?
Mean Queen. Okay, I'm not on social media.
Yo, where's she at, man?
Oh, I know. I know you're not on social media.
We know this.
The Twitter is Mean Queen K, and the Instagram is Spinning Fist.
Dope.
But she's not. I mean, you DM her, but she won't answer.
Have you DM'd me?
Plenty of times.
Slid in the DMs.
Wait, but I have a good excuse for that. If a lot of people follow you, do not feel obligated to follow like 3,000 people, because then they can send you 3,000 DMs, and the people you actually want to talk to, their messages will get lost. I think I have about 1,500 DM messages in there. That's just like, it's overwhelming.
You in there somewhere.
Well, because you know what happens? Because when you have the DM, you get like the first message, you just read it. But you busy.
No, it's
so
but I look at the DMs and it's like in Twitter they're blue and it's like just 1,500 blue messages and I'm like I can't do that.
Yeah. Well, you could disregard all the ones over the last 3 years because now you hear it. So just say it. You are an official friend of the show.
TK.
You can come on the show whenever you want, whenever you have time.
For a tea.
I am so happy as finally come. This is like a journey. We made it though. We made it.
I told you it's that long journey across Middle Earth, man.
Man, I'm so happy. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for answering my email.
Shout out to Brian, man. Evan Mack, Instagram, man, Twitter, man.
Yep, and if you guys are not following us on social media, follow us at WPW Weekly on IG and all that good stuff. If you're not, if you're watching us on the YouTube channel for AfterBuzz, hit that subscribe button. Leave your comments there because Kia's not going to read hers in the DM, so we'll pass it on. We'll pass it on for you.
Thank you, chat. I appreciate y'all in the chat, too. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, thank you for so much, guys. Without you guys, we wouldn't be the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet consistently all the time. We have missed one show, and that wasn't because of us. That was just because of Christmas. So, other than that, we appreciate you guys so much, and we will see you guys next week. Ciao, guys.